Nah, I can feel the heat. Nah, this shit getting crazy. Nah. Yeah, we want.
Huge blaze tearing through 671 Bronx River Road, leaving one person dead and dozens injured. And now people are wondering, is there a possible cover-up? Let's talk about it. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, the Bronx River fire, the fire at the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa Cooperative is the co-op, the building there that caught fire a few days ago at 671 Bronx River Road, excuse me. You know, unfortunately, someone passed away. They lost their life. One person died, and dozens were injured. Over 24 tenants were injured, and 15 firefighters were injured battling that blaze. It's a, you know, it was a bad fire, which started on the first floor. And the fact that it started on the first floor and now you see it shooting through the, or then you see it shooting through the roof there, that suggests that it burned bad. There's a lot of damage there. I mean, for it to get all the way to the roof from the first floor, yeah, that's pretty bad. And so I would imagine was difficult for people to escape, especially when you're on the top floor there. And I'm hearing some stuff about fire escapes, fire alarms not working, not sounding off. Again, these are just reports that I'm hearing. It's hard to confirm anything. Obviously, this is still an ongoing investigation. Police are not going to confirm anything or deny anything with, you know, with me anyway, or with anyone, the public. But I'm hearing that fire alarms, tenants said that they did not hear fire alarms go off. In fact, one of those tenants that said they did not hear fire alarms go off was Pete Spano. Yeah, I'm finding out that Pete Spano actually lived in the building. Pete Spano is running for City Council District 5. Very quiet, though, right? I didn't even know. I heard, I guess, but I didn't even know. Did you guys know Pete was running? Pete Spano is very good friends with Tom Meyer's son, Tom Meyer Jr., who is a vice chair over at the Yonkers Democratic Committee, Tom Meyer being the chair of the Democratic Committee. I didn't know he was running, but he is. He's running. And so I was hearing about a candidate who lost their signatures in the fire. And so I'm finding out that that candidate is Pete Spano, who is running for District 5. Apparently, he's challenging Mike Breen. You know, anyone who knows politics really well and understands how it really works here probably sees that as just a favor being done for Mike Breen. They don't want anyone really running that's going to take out Breen. And Pete Spano did this before. He ran in the 2021 elections, right? And I forgot, what did he run for? Was he? He was also running for city council president. That's right. Pete Spano ran for city council president back in 2021. Again, it was kind of very low-key, hush-hush. But Pete Spano not only lived in the building, he lived on the first floor. He lived on the first floor where the fire started. And so because we're not hearing much, you know, people start to talk and people are wondering, did it start in Pete Spano's apartment? Now, I don't know. I'm not saying it did. I actually reached out to Pete Spano. He said, no, it wasn't his apartment. It was a neighbor's apartment where the fire originated from. That's still, you know, we don't know who owned the apartment. A name has not been released yet, but it started because of a grow house. Apparently, there was a heat lamp in there that was faulty, and it caused this big blaze, this massive blaze that you see there. all due to marijuana growing. Someone was growing weed in their first floor apartment, and this resulted in a lot of damage, millions of dollars in damage, lots of people losing their personal property, losing a place to live. More importantly, they lost a place to live, right? A lot of people have been left homeless. Hundreds of families are left without anywhere to go. Red Cross could only do so much. I know George Latimer is trying to get some relief from the county, and I think he's been somewhat successful trying to get help. But unfortunately, many people did not have insurance. And so, I know it's a little too late now, but, hopefully moving forward, next place that they will get insurance. If you are a renter, get renter's insurance. Some, these are co-ops. So many of the people were the owners. So hopefully they had homeowners insurance, right? They should have. But if you are a renter, get renter's insurance. It will cover you, for a place to stay, your personal belongings, that are damaged. So you don't have to worry about finding out where you're going to go. You have a place to stay. They will pay for temporary housing until you find a permanent situation. And so, I've offered, help, free, because this is, I do this for my clients. So if there's anyone out there that needs help, does have insurance also, but is unsure of their policy, and needs a place to stay, temporary place, let me know. I'll review your policy. I'll just do that just to help and let you know what your options are. And then, you can hopefully have a place to stay. Because believe it or not, many times people don't realize what they're covered for. They don't know that they can get certain things. And so, they won't even, try to get a hotel, let's say, because they won't know that their insurance company will cover for that. So if you had insurance, more than likely you should have what's known as ALE, additional living expenses. And in that section of your policy, it talks about temporary living situation and how much they cover you for. And it can be either a number, an amount of money, or a set amount of time, right? It could be 12 months, or it can be, $150,000, just depending on the policy, right? And so you look into that. You have, it's called ALE. You should have three parts to your insurance claim. You have the building part that covers the property, or the dwelling covers the property itself. Then you have what's known as personal property or contents, and that covers your personal belongings, your clothing, your furniture, your shoes, your mattresses, your toothbrushes, even. We inventory every single thing that a person had in their home because it all adds up. You had toothbrushes, toothpaste, your deodorants. All that gets added up. Also, your medication. If you have medication, be careful. That fire burned pretty bad. So I would imagine, I can see there was a lot of smoke, and that smoke is no good, and it gets into everything, and it damages the medication. So don't take any medication. If you are on medication, go right away to your doctor or your pharmacist or wherever, get a new prescription. Let them know you were in a fire. If you have cable, call the cable company. Let them know you had a fire, because they're going to, continue to charge you, and also they're going to want their boxes, right? So this is just some information for people, who are going through this fire, and first things first, people are safe. Unfortunately, someone lost their life, but once your family's safe, or you got your family together, the next steps are handling and dealing with this process. Unfortunately, something you have to go through, having lost all your stuff, and people are very emotional. And so it's a really traumatic experience, and something that, I enjoy doing. Not, it's weird. I enjoy it because I get to help people. It's sad that I have to see people that way. I don't want to sound, but I get to help a lot of people, which is why I like my job. So, if there's anyone out there that, is looking for some help and assistance, and, just call me up or reach out to me, politicwithfred@gmail.com. I'm offering my services just to help, it's a tragic situation. But yeah, so when a situation like that, when it's a grow house, or it's something that was being done that might have been illegal, it can be even longer process, right? They have to investigate it. You have arson, you have the police investigating and all that. Then you have different insurance companies now, because it's a co-op. So you're going to have the co-op's insurance company. Then you're going to have each individual homeowner, or co-op owner insurance. And then maybe you have renters that have renters insurance. So it's going to be a lot of, moving parts, a lot of things happening. you know, and so, you know, I just send my prayers to the folks out there, you know, hopefully, you know, they can get through that process as quick as possible. That's going to be, you know, at least a year for those individuals that are out. But it's sad that this all happened because someone was growing weed. And who is this someone? Anyone? So people are now saying, hey, is this a cover-up happening? And, you know, they heard Pete Spano. He was on the first floor. No one's name's being mentioned as to the person that was growing this marijuana. And so people start to, you know, think things, right? And so people are wondering. And so I reached out to Pete. He said no. So again, I don't know, you know, who the owner of the apartment was. I don't want to say it was Pete Spano, but there are those people, you know, rumors are circulating. He did lose his a lot of signatures, I hear, in the fire. But I'm not sure if he wanted to win anyway. That's just my opinion. I don't think Pete was in it to win it, if you ask me. One resident was growing weed plants in his apartment. As his bulb fell off, it hooked, triggering the fire, which spread throughout the building. Wow. So Pete lost his signatures. How convenient for Breen. Just saying, right? And so this is what I'm saying. I don't think he really wanted to win. But, you know, he did manage to save his sneaker collection, I hear. He had an extensive sneaker collection, which, by the way, Pete, if you're listening, I'm not sure if you had insurance or not, but take pictures of them. You know, you want to make sure that the insurance company sees whatever was damaged. If you want to get it replaced or, you know, something, you want to get it cleaned or whatever, you know, with clothing, depending how badly it's damaged, they can either send it out to get cleaned or they will just pay to replace it. You know, I usually just put in for my clients to get it all replaced. That smell, you know, is hard, but I've had clients like that, Pete, that have had extensive, I should say, Jordan collections, right? Or sneaker collections, but that included a lot of Jordans. I had 2 claims once where a woman, a client of mine, her son had a $10,000 sneaker collection that got damaged. And I got them paid for their sneakers. And guess what? You get to keep the sneakers, you know? So if you could try to clean it, you know, you still get to keep the sneakers. And I had another client here in Yonkers also that had extensive sneaker collection as well. You know, so you inventory all that stuff. And that's difficult with the sneakers, Pete, because, you know, the insurance company doesn't value it the same way sneakerheads do. So you're going to, you know, if you are going to go to your insurance company and say, hey, my sneakers were damaged and stuff like that, prepare for them to kind of lowball you, because they're going to look at them as a pair of sneakers, not as, you know, the Jordans number this, that, and third, although you can try and, you know, fight that, and I have, and, you know, you can make a case for it. But, you know, it's sad that that happened because someone decided to grow weed. Now a lot of people are at home. Kindly to offer your service for free. You're a good guy. Yeah, you know, listen, I make money. I do my thing, you know what I'm saying? And so why not? You know, there's a lot of people that need help, and, you know, it's not always about making money and stuff like that. And just, you know, if I could, now, if you want me to do some construction and stuff, that's a different story. I have to get paid for that. No, but if you just want me to review your policy just so you can see what it is that you're entitled to, what you should be covered for, you know, reach out to me at politicwithfred@gmail.com. You know, send me over your policy. I'll review it and I'll let you know exactly what you are entitled to and what you should be, you know, presenting to your insurance company, you know, for reimbursement. So I want to play another video here real quick of this woman talking about her experience here. Oh, shoot.
Just filled my top of my door, black smoke just filled my ceiling, and all of a sudden it was choking me.
Jeannie Sarah Kelly said she called the fire department, and by the time they arrived minutes later, flames had quickly engulfed the 7-story co-op. The blaze went to 4 alarms, bringing out more than 100 firefighters.
Wow.
I had just gone to sleep, and all of a sudden I heard the fire alarms were going off, helping the door.
Oh, so they were going off.
Just smoke, which I inhaled, and it was very difficult, very difficult. Everything's gone.
Firefighters made dramatic rescues of people hanging out windows. They performed CPR on one man pulled from his burning apartment, but he did not survive. 41 people were injured, including a number of first responders.
Wow, 41 people injured, you know, and including, I read 15 first responders. And so, you know, this is the second fire in, not even 6 months where someone lost their life here in Yonkers. And so I wanted to talk about it, not so much for the rumors about Pete Spano, but I did want to talk about that. I thought that was interesting. But because of the fires that are now happening, and I said this in my podcast I've said this, months ago. I said, folks, expect, and I'm not saying that this was intentionally set, but I'm saying expect us to see more fires here in the city of Yonkers. And now this is the second one in less than maybe 3 months. There was the one on Mulberry that, where 2 people lost their lives, a mother and a son. And so I'm thinking about how many fires we're starting to see now, and also the fact that we're having all these buildings going up, all these high rises, these tall buildings, 40-story buildings. And so are firefighters prepared for this? Are they going to go through some training? Are they going to hire more firefighters? Are they going to have to get more specialized equipment, right, and have a specialized unit that'll go up in battle blazes, in these high rises, will we see more of this? And these buildings are going up so fast. Are they really making them safe? I saw a building on, what is it? Locust Avenue Locust Hill. It's going up across from the park, that park where there was the shooting, about a year or so ago. Remember, they were having the barbecue there, celebrating someone, and then there was a shooting. That shooting that weekend. There was a bunch of shootings anyway. Right across from there, they're putting up this building, and I noticed that they went up to about maybe the 2-story or second floor or whatever, and it was cement, and then everything else up, from there was all plywood. And I just thought to myself, man, that's dangerous. I wouldn't want to live in that building. And I'm noticing that they're using a lot of cheap materials. I've noticed other developments going up. They're cutting corners by using cheaper materials. It's not necessarily illegal to use that material, but it's definitely a way for them to save money. And it does take away from the quality. It does take away even from the safety. I mean, if you're using all plywood instead of going all brick, right, you're going to have that whole building could go up, and you're going to have it where people can't escape easily, right? If one apartment catches on fire, then they're all going to go up because, it's all wood. It's all plywood all around. And so I said to myself, I would not want to live in that building, because that seemed very dangerous to me. But is that something that the city is really looking into? Are building inspectors, instead of harassing daycare centers, are they going and inspecting these buildings? Are they making sure that they are safe? They're going up fast. Are they safe? Right? Are they, going to assure that, people are not going to be dying if there's fires and stuff, right? So that's something we have to consider. We have to think about. I'm sure the city of Yonkers is considering it. If they're not, they should be. All these buildings going up, and is our firefighters prepared for these developments? To fight fires within these developments, right? And I have seen them training. I have seen them rappelling from garages throughout Yonkers or other buildings. And so maybe that's what they're training for, these high rises that are going to be going up to fight fires in them. So I don't know, just something I wanted to talk about. If anybody has information on who may have started this fire, who was the owner of that apartment, or maybe the renter of that apartment where they had the grow house, I'd love to know. politicwithfred@gmail.com. If you have any information at all, let me know. Email me at politicwithfred@gmail.com, and I will not give my sources out. Guarantee you. Although Mr. Brian Harrod wants me to give my sources up, and so does Zahi Jeris, and I will in that case, because in that case it's simple. It's Google, it's Zahi himself, and Vinny Spano. That's where I got my sources in that lawsuit that I'm involved in now. But I wanted to show you Corazon Pineda Isaac real quick before I get off. I wasn't going to be on long. Corazon did a speech, and I'm imagining this was at her announcement.
A monarch. I am a Nazi.
She starts off by saying, I'm not part of a monarch. I'm not part of a dynasty. Who's she referring to? People are surprised that she's legitimately going against Mike Spano, but I think maybe she is, and I think maybe I know why. She is getting support from the county Democrats, and I think maybe she feels like, yo, I got the power now from these guys, because the county Democrats, George Latimer and them, are really trying to fend off the Spanos, Mike Spano, from taking over the county, because that's what people say they're doing. They're looking to take over the county. Mike Spano has had ambitions of running for county executive. In fact, he even opened up a committee, and you can see it there. He had a committee open for county executive, the committee, I don't know what it's called, but he had a committee opened up. So he definitely was considering it strongly, but maybe it didn't look too good and decided to stay here in Yonkers for another 4 years and maybe grow a little stronger in the county by infiltrating it through their legislators and putting people into the committee and stuff like that in order to take over slowly. So Corazon here has the backing of some of these individuals. And this is what Brian Harrod is saying. And I'll get into what Brian Harrod is saying, because Brian Harrod been going after the mayor a bit. And some people are wondering why. What's going on? Did they not make a payment to Brian? So let's hear what Corazon has to say first, and then we'll get into Brian. Oh, wrong button.
I am not part of a monarch. I am an Afro-Latina, daughter of immigrants, daughter of someone who has dealt with racism, sexism, and everything that intersects in between. I'm a mom who has to balance work as a city council member, raising my children, being a happy wife and a mad wife, and being a normal person. These perspectives have not sat in the mayor's office. They've never been in a position to allocate funding for schools or determine what's a priority for our city's people or not. We've never had someone who knows the pain of being targeted because of your race, because of your economic status, because of your accent. We know that pain, and therefore, we know how we'll handle it to make sure that the future generations are protected, that our families are protected, that our city is protected, that we are moving forward. It doesn't matter if you're Black, Latino, white, Dominican, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Irish. It doesn't matter what your last name is. You deserve an opportunity in this city.
Doesn't matter what your name is.
I am not part.
You deserve an opportunity in this city. And I believe she's making a reference to Spano. Doesn't matter what your name is. You deserve an opportunity. Your name shouldn't have to be Spano. Exactly. Exactly. This is where I want people to see, right? I'm not negative. Some people don't get it. Some people don't get what I say. Some people don't get what what I'm seeing, but they will. Why didn't you say this when you were on the council? Now you're saying it. Well, because now she feels like she's got the backing. Now she's wanting to be the mayor. So now she's going to speak up. Right now she's going to say certain things because she doesn't say everything. She's not mentioning the long list of Spano family members that are hired by the city or that are working for the city that she has. Is she going to announce that? Is she going to talk about that? Right? And then she also says they don't know what it's like to have, been discriminated on or have, deal with racism. There goes the identity politics thing. I don't like that. Right? We don't know what the Spanos have gone through. I would imagine that Italians have gone through their own struggles here, coming in as immigrants. Right? So I never want to, ever question people's, struggles in life, which I don't know. Talk about what you're going to do. Talk about what's a fact and what's actually wrong and how you're going to fix it. Don't talk about discrimination and they don't know and they don't know about sexism. I'm a woman, so she's playing on the woman thing, playing on the Afro-Latina thing. She wants to make sure she says Afro. I got to get the Black people and the Latinas. But that's it. What else are you going to do? Tell us what else is wrong. Tell us about the corruption. You know all about it. You were there for 12 years. Tell us. Where's the money? You talk about the schools. Who's never been in a position to allocate money to the schools? Who? You guys haven't done much for the schools at all. Nothing really, except blame the state. Blame the state constantly for why we are short on money. And it's always for the schools, right? Schools is always getting shorted. But again, Afro-Latina, sexism, playing on the woman thing, on the race thing. She comes from a family of immigrants. You've been in office for 12 years. You could tell us something. What have you done? What do you guys think, folks? What do you think about Corazon? Will you be voting for Corazon? Do you think Corazon is the answer? Do you think she'll do a good job as the mayor of the city of Yonkers? I don't know. Folks, before I get up out of here, what's up with Brian? A Yonkers ambulance was hijacked. Anybody know about this? Safest City, the Yonkers Police Department is investigating a report of an unidentified male holding up an Empress EMS crew. Reportedly, the male ordered the crew to drive him to a hotel, threatening, I can't see the rest. But, can you guarantee Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano more than 200 YouTube views after 3 days? So this nut job is going after Mike Spano's podcast that I showed the other day, yesterday on the podcast. I talked about it. He's going after Rue. Brian Harrod, I have learned that there is no guarantees in life. Then he goes into your tax dollars at work. This is almost as funny as when the mayor's crack communication team was using TikTok on the city of Yonkers computers and devices to do food reviews before the ransomware attacks. Bonkers. Needless to say, the mayor's office employees stopped using the Chinese Communist Party's app for food reviews and moved to Instagram. Once all the computers in the city of Yonkers were restored, and he's got a picture of me and the mayor, then he said something about Ruros laughing. So now these guys, what they're doing, I think, folks, is just causing problems, right? This is what I'm saying. Look at this. And so, again, he's going after, he talks about me. But my issue here is this. Not sure why he decided to... Erwin, tell my daughter, and this bothers me a little bit. I want to just talk to Yonkers Police Department real quick before I get up out of here. And I know you guys are watching, you're listening. You guys are always watching, right? This is Brian Harrod of Yonkers News Wire. And by the way, folks, believe me when I say that this man is paid by our city officials. This man is told to do this. This is how he makes his living. This is what they do. This is the politics in Yonkers. Ruros, it seems that Team Spano is just going through the motions, but this is not like the last election against Mario J. Di Giorgio. Wow, and Ru, this time you have Corazon George is helping me Pineda, who last week claimed that she had more than enough signatures to get on the primary ballot and debate Mike Spano, thanks to the help from Eileen O'Connor and her Indivisible group. Yeah, thank you, Eileen. Oh my God, and Alfredo Vazquez, aka Freddy Vazquez, may be a village idiot, but he is a very determined village idiot. And Rue, I'm hearing that he and his pretty little daughter are racking up some pretty decent numbers gathering signatures. I know you don't want to hear this, but if Freddy's cute little daughter said to me, please sign this for my daddy, I would have to take a deep breath and say, well, all right, then sign her petition. Can't spell. So I don't like these comments from a man that has a history and a past of sex crimes towards kids. He was accused of being involved in some rape of a young girl in Connecticut. He had parents protesting in front of his apartment because of this. He was also accused of installing cameras in women's bathrooms using his maintenance company. A company that he gets contracts by extorting municipalities. He extorted Portchester and got a contract from them because he was doing this terrorist terrorizing them online, terrorizing elected officials, terrorizing officials. This has been going on here in the city of Yonkers for so long. And the fact that the Yonkers Police Department, our city officials, have not put an end to it is further proof that they are involved. Yonkers Voice, Ruros, his partner, pled guilty. He said to me, he pled guilty to endangering the welfare of a child after he was arrested for fondling her at his karate school. This was in the New York Times. I've shown you the article. She ran home and told her parents that he was touching her inappropriately. So he pled guilty to endangering the welfare of a child, he says. And then in 2018, he had child pornography, not in his computer, he says, but in his phone. But the Yonkers police report says in his computer. And these two individuals work together. And this is the second or third time, I think the third time now that they've mentioned my daughter and he blasted her picture, right? These people go on my page. And so the Yonkers police should be proactive and reach out to this guy, because at this point it's getting a little bit uncomfortable for me. And so I'm asking them to be proactive. Unless you want to see another Latino in jail. Is that what you're looking for, YPD? Because this is not okay. It's not okay. Calling my daughter cute when this man is disgusting and has the past that he has, and so does his partner, is not okay, makes me uncomfortable. And when is the city of Yonkers going to put an end to this? Stop advertising with him, Vinny Spano. Stop advertising with him, Nader Sayage. Ada Medina. You're co-signing this when you do that. You're co-signing men who have committed sex crimes towards children. When are you going to have some morals? So this is not okay. To the Yonkers Police Department, I think you should give this guy a call. Because eventually one day this guy is going to get his ass kicked. I'm telling you. Somebody's going to kick his ass. Somebody's going to hurt this man because he's going to say the wrong thing to the wrong person. So be proactive. To the county legislators who also advertise with him. You guys are co-signing this. How dare you? How dare you associate and co-sign with individuals with pasts like this and that continue to do this here in the community? The mayor going on with Ruros, a man that pled guilty because he touched a little girl inappropriately. The mayor himself says he was the victim of a pedophile. He was sexually assaulted or abused as a child. Was he not? Were you not, Mayor Mike Spano? So why would you sit next to a man who has a record? It's clearly there. Wouldn't that make you feel uncomfortable as someone who was a victim of a man like Ruros? Shouldn't you set an example and say we will not support financially or otherwise people like this, especially because I was a victim? I mean, you are showing that you don't care, Mayor, and that what you're saying about your story maybe is not true. Because you don't seem to have sympathy for the victims that are still here in the city of Yonkers that hate Ruros. Their family hate Ruros. They're here. I know. Listen, I know they hate this man. because I know someone that knows them, Mike Spano. And so as a fellow victim, you should be still supporting that victim and having this guy disappear from our social media pages and being allowed to do what he does in the community, giving him access to what you give him access to. That's a shame. That's a shame, and that's a slap in the face to all sex crime victims, all child sex crime victims, parents here in the city of Yonkers. As a parent, you're a parent, Mike. Why doesn't this man go after your daughter? What if I started putting your picture of your daughter, Mr. Spano, and calling her cute? You wouldn't think that was cute. Brian, A.K. Nutjob, is a shakedown artist. I have him on video coming to my office on 2 occasions, begging to speak with me and begging to advertise with him. And of course, I wouldn't even talk to him with what a complete nutcase. Disgusting. Disgusting. And my cousin is obviously good friends with him, Erwin Spano, A.K. Erwin Vazquez. Obviously, the two of you have a relationship. So obviously, you as Vinny Spano's best friend, you know who Vinny Spano knows who Brian Harrod is. And they're doing this because they want it to look like he's attacking the mayor and he's going after Rue, because what he's going to do is start attacking anyone who's opposing the mayor. And he's going to go after them bad. So the mayor and Vinny, they don't want to be, or they want to make it look like he's attacked them too. That's a pattern, provocation, even to the point of meddling with your children, followed by you being labeled as a lunatic who's unfit for work when you react angrily. Right. And so I didn't react, although, you know, listen, I thought about it. In my head, I did. I went to his house. I kicked down his door. I smacked him around a few times. And I smashed the computer that he did it on, but that didn't actually happen. That was just in my head. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. This is what they want. They want to provoke me. It's sad. It's sad that people in the city of Yonkers are using this guy to try and provoke me by talking about my daughter. You don't see him mention anybody else's kid. You don't see him mention anybody else in the same manner that he mentions me. Even when he talks about Rue or Cater, or even when he's fake criticizing the mayor, we still know he's a part of you guys. We're not going to fall for the trick. And so to the mayor and to the Yonkers Police Department, all the city officials, this is disgusting and a disgrace. And you all should put an end to it. And if you don't, then that should show the people of Yonkers exactly who you are, the characters, your characters, who you really are. You don't care about the people. You don't care about kids. You don't have any level of respect. And that's why we need to vote them out. Disgusting what they do. This is what they do to win elections. It's disgusting. Freddie, they get Donna Nolan to interject herself into CJ's family. Do you think being with Rue Rose bothers him? Check this out. And here's something that's sad also. Look what they did today at the meeting. Does this sit here? Yeah.
Minority Leader Breen.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion this time to amend tonight's agenda to add the special ordinance that we discussed at the budget regarding budget transfer that was discussed at tonight's budget committee meeting. So I'd like to have that added to the agenda.
Yes. Just discussed with the budget director in the
mention of Mr. Jambalai.
Okay, here.
In memory of Halil.
This is John Rubo.
Okay. Majority Whip Rubo.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to ask that we keep in mind and heart and close the meeting in memory of Halil Jambalai. His son, Henry Jambalai, is on our IDA and a very active member of our community. And his father just recently passed away. So I just like to make mention of Mr. Jambalai. Thank you.
Thank you for that. This memory will close in honor of Mr. Halil Jambalai, who is the father of Henry Jambalai. Thank you for that, and we will keep his family lifted in prayer. And we have one more. Majority Leader Diaz.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to add to that list, today marks 20 years to the day that my friend Jasmine Velez lost her entire family in the Oak Street fire. So I want to actually add them to the list as well, because she lost everybody in her family. She is the only survivor, and the one person that did survive the fire was Vanaya, and she didn't live to 13. She died at 12 years old due to cancer. So I just want to let everybody know that today is 20 years to the day.
Thank you for that somber memory. Again, we acknowledge and keep in our prayers Ms. Velez, who was the sole survivor of that fire 20 years ago that I'm sure many of us remember here in the city of Yonkers. And we will continue to lift the survivors of the fire from 671 Bronx River Road in our prayers. And Mr. Jambalai and Councilwoman Williams is under the weather, so we wish her well, feel better, and that she will be joining us at next week's meeting.
And I want to say and add CJ Hackett to that list in memory of the 16-year-old who seems to be ignored by our city officials. They can mention everyone else's name who's passed away, but they couldn't give an honor and memory of a 16-year-old boy who was just living his life. And because we live in a city where certain individuals get to do as they please, get away with literally murder, he had to lose his life. People have no regard for others because they're connected. They're part of the nepotism system. And they'll cover it up for you. They don't care if you've fondled kids. They don't care if you go on social media and talk about people's families, wives, and kids in the most disgusting way. They don't care. That's what they're all about. So in memory of CJ Hackett, 16-year-old who has passed away, rest in peace to Mr. Jambalai's father. No disrespect to him at all. I don't disrespect anyone when they lose a family member. So, you know, my prayers to his family as well. You know, my condolences. But why do we not remember CJ Hackett? And that bothered me when I heard this, and I said, well, what about CJ? You guys have not mentioned that young boy at all. And it's not fair. It's not fair to his parents. It's not fair to the family of AJ. They want justice. And they don't care. They don't care about anything. Know what they care about. Folks, I'm going to get up out of here. I just wanted to show you that. I just, really quick. Also, yeah, you know what? I want to show you. I want to let you hear this because I'm getting tired of these guys. You know, I'm tired of these guys here. I really am. I really am. This guy, Rue Rose and Brian Harrod and stuff. You know, our elected officials are disgusting. They are. Some of our elected officials. Let me say some of our elected officials, okay? They're not nice people. Really not nice people. And, you know, they will do whatever to anyone who they feel may be in their way. Even attack their business. They don't care. They don't care at all. And so I wanted to play a recording that I had from Mr. Ruros. He doesn't deny that elected officials contacted him and wanted him to write negative articles about me to hurt my business. So they work in cahoots with these guys. They work in cahoots with Brian Harrod, and they work with Rue Rose to put out negative stories about people, to completely ignore certain stories. Did you see anyone post about Margaret Coleman? Nothing about Margaret Coleman running for mayor. Nothing. Yonkers Tribune, they didn't say nothing. They mentioned Corazon's announcement. They mentioned, obviously, the mayor. Hell, they even mentioned Prince, but they didn't mention Margaret Coleman. So they work to create a narrative, you know, whatever narrative that the administration wants, they help them create that narrative. Rue Rose will actually take your money not to promote certain people. And that's not okay. And then they attack people in this manner like they do me. I don't remember which one, if it was this one. I don't remember which one it was. I don't want to play the wrong thing.
So.
No, that's not it. When I get it up, I'll play. I want you to hear this part. I want you to hear this man. He admits that he pled guilty to endangering the welfare of a child. He also pretty much admits that it was my cousin Erwin who gave him that video that my family had been circulating. Thank you, family. See what Erwin did to me, family? You guys were circulating that video, and then Erwin got it, and he brought it over to Vinny because he was so mad. What are you mad about, Erwin? What were you mad about, that I called you Erwin Spano? That's what your friends call you, not me. So Rue Rose pretty much admitted that he got the video from my cousin Erwin. So him and Vinny colluded to put this video out to suggest that I had beat up a parent so I can have a CPS case. This is what they will do. They will cover up the killing of a 16-year-old boy. They will levy CPS cases against you. They will talk about your children in nasty ways. These people have no kind of morals. They don't have any issues sitting next to a pedophile. None whatsoever. And you're not going to extort me, Rue Rose, okay? You're not going to use Brian to blackmail or extort me. I don't care. What's your end goal? How far will you take it, Rue? All right, you're not going to blackmail me. He's asked me, he says, Brian will stop talking about you. See what they put in my daughter. Brian will stop that if you take everything you ever said about me off your page. No, you are a pedophile and everyone needs to know about it. Time to clean up the city of Yonkers. The corruption must end. I'm Freddy Vazquez. I'm up out of here. Have a beautiful, blessed night. We live in a evil city. Very evil. Evil and wicked. Evil and wicked city. Okay, this is Basement Politics Unfiltered. By the way, have you noticed? At these meetings, right, they never talk about, they don't explain anything to people, right? Like they don't. That
we discussed that the budget, regarding budget transfer, that was discussed at tonight's.
Anybody that was paying attention to the, really quick, the term limit meeting, I forgot, I wanted to mention this. Mike Breen introduces something here and they vote on it and they move forward with it. But I think they told Moranti during in the term limit extension meeting when Moranti wanted to introduce, I guess, a motion for the referendum or something, and they told him that he couldn't do. Anyway, listen to this, and then we'll go over it.
Minority Leader Breen.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion this time to amend tonight's agenda to add the special ordinance that we discussed at the budget, regarding budget transfer, that was discussed at tonight's budget committee meeting. So I'd like to have that added to the agenda.
Yes. We will, do we have a motion to add the item? Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Seconded by the majority leader. Okay, so the first vote is to add the item to the agenda. Mr. Clerk, is it all members by name or we need a roll call? All members by name?
Adopted 6, added 6-0.
Okay, and the next vote will be, if you read the item again from the budget, do you have that?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought you couldn't add a. Anyway, maybe I'll have to ask somebody who knows better. Anyway, folks, I'm up out of here. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. I'll be out there campaigning. And folks, you know, support me in this. You have to let these people know. Like, that's not okay. It's not okay to allow these people to talk about children like that. People's children. It's not okay to do that. You know, Rue Rose again. The man pled guilty to, as he says, endangering the welfare of a child after he was arrested for fondling her at his karate school. Brian Harrod was involved in some rape that happened, or he was alleged to be involved in a rape that happened in Connecticut. Parents actually protested in front of his apartment where he lives now because of it. So these people have some shady, dark past. And our elected officials pay them, support them, advertise with them, from the county legislators. I hear James Nolan, David Tubiolo. David, better tell that guy, Brian, stop, man. I'm talking about them Grota parties, man. I'm going to just talking about the Grota parties. I don't care. You guys want to go all out with the Grota parties? La Grota parties? Let's go. They're talking about my daughter, David. Justin. Tubiolo. Maybe you want to reach out to me and we can, you know, figure this out with this guy, Brian. I don't like when he talks about my daughter. I don't like that, Brian. Justin. I don't like it. Maybe I'll talk about those, you know, parties that David was at. Talk about my daughter. Let's go. Yeah, I know. Let's go. Talk about my daughter. Let's go, Dave. Better tell that man, son. You better reach out to him, Justin.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
If that thing is not taken down, Justin Tubiolo, Brian Harris, somebody better call Justin. Let him know. I'm going to be talking about tomorrow that La Grota party, where your son was at. Okay, I don't play with my kids. And since I can't go over there and wring the guy's neck, this is how I got to do it. I'll be on tomorrow by 8.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
No! I wish we could do a street style with these people. I wish.